Take a look at this 98 F-150. Looks like rear-wheel drive, most likely. Looks like it's in really good shape. No trailer hitch. Bed is relatively used, no bed liner or anything. Roll down windows, probably manual locks as well. There's something you don't see too often. Looks like it's manual transmission. You got 3 pedals and you got the shifter right there. Seats look like they're in really good shape. Looks like you'll know your speed. That's about it. No tachometer. 63,000 miles. That's it. That's probably realistic for the condition of this one. It's a 4-speed with overdrive. They're asking 10 grand for it, and that might not be too far off for what it's worth considering the amount of miles, the year it is. It's manual transmission. Typically manual transmission vehicles are a little bit cheaper than automatics. However, these older ones and these older trucks are a little bit more desirable, so that can help drive the price. It's only the V6 with the 4.2 and it's only 2-wheel drive. I think 10 grand is a little bit too much for this one. If it was 4-wheel drive and maybe had the 5.4 Triton V8 or something a little bit bigger, I'd say probably closer to, I don't know, I'd probably pay $6,000 for it. Maybe they're asking a little bit higher, assuming you're going to negotiate down, but I think 6 grand is probably a good price on there. I'd have to take a closer look at the frame rails. This is the salt belt, so just had some time driving around in the salt, I'm sure. 2-wheel drive, so when it's snowing, you probably didn't take it out. It's always something to consider as well. Interior is in really good shape, but it's still a 98. It's still a pretty old vehicle, so that's something else to consider as well. Let's move on to the next guy. Let's take a look at this Mustang. So 96 Mustang Cobra convertible, 15,000. Yeah, it doesn't really give you much. No pictures of the interior. Manual transmission, convertible, almost 100,000 miles. Probably got the 5-liter V8. Yeah, there's not much information here. Can't really say for sure. 14,600, I'd say that's a little much. But without seeing more pictures, I wouldn't really be able to tell. 100,000 miles, 96. I'd say maybe closer to maybe 10 to 12. Maybe that's pretty close to what it's worth. It's in really good shape. Let's take a look at this GMC. It's a 2015 Sierra 1500. Does have the crew cab. Looks like it's a 4x4 based on the badging there. Running boards. It's got a trailer hitch. I assume it's got the SLT package. It's probably got the 5.3 liter. Got to be careful with the 5.3s from GM currently. They have some cylinder deactivation stuff, which I heard there's a bunch of lifter issues as those engines begin to age. Close to 140, 150,000 miles, people start having issues with them. So I typically stay away from GM products of this era. That's basically 2007 to current is when they introduced that. And they may be getting better, but as far as I know, even 2020, 2021, 2022 models are still having that issue as they get more miles on them. If there was a way to take out that cylinder deactivation, they call it active fuel management, then these would be very reliable engines. But at least right now, I wouldn't even consider these vehicles, especially for the prices that they charge for them. You can see the four-wheel drive controls. It's got leather seats. It's a very nice truck. You got your trailer brake controller. Looks like the odometer is, I guess it calls it out as 83,000. I'd say that's probably what it says. It's hard to tell. This little warning light here looks like it's for low tire pressure, so the tires just need some air. That's not something to be concerned about. Yep, there you go, 83,594. It's always good that they take a picture of that. Looks like they got tow haul mode. If you click into the shifter there, and a way to shift gears manually on the shifter there. It's got heated seats, backup camera. Looks like that might be for adjusting something. Traction control is the bed light. See, they're asking 25,000, 83,000 miles. It's got the 6-speed, up to 5.3 liter. I think these came with either the 5.3 liter or the 6.2 liter. Yeah, they just list a bunch of options. That's probably not too far off what the vehicle's worth, but considering that lifter issue that these Chevys and GMCs, most of the GM products have, I'd stay clear of these trucks until there's a potential fix to that issue, and maybe there's an electronic one. Maybe you can program these so that they don't have that active fuel management stuff, but as far as I know, there's no way to do that up to this point. Oh, here's something else to consider. It is a salvage title. If it was a clean title, I'd say 25,000, good price. Salvage title, I definitely wouldn't touch it. Basically salvage, it's been in an accident and the insurance company totaled it, so there was enough damage to the vehicle that they totaled it. Let's move on to the next guy. Take a look at another Chevy. Same company, these guys must post a lot. So it's a 2500 HD, 8-foot bed. They're asking 30,000. Let's take a look. It's got running boards, that's nice. Big tow mirrors, but it's got this big ugly rusty tailgate on it. This ugly hitch. Based on that exhaust, it's a diesel. I wouldn't buy it just because of this. That looks terrible. If I were these guys, I would have swapped that out for the original tailgate if they have it. It's diesel. Looks like it's got four-wheel drive, shifter on the floor. Does have the rubber mats. That's always nice if you're looking for a work truck. It's easier to clean if it's got the rubber versus the carpet. It's definitely been used. They used it for something in the rear. You can see all these nicks and hits on the door. I'm sure this truck hasn't had an easy life. For some reason the middle seat in the front, the seat belt, doesn't contract all the way. I wonder what that's about. I said, it looks like it's been a work truck, so it's definitely not had an easy life. Trailer brake controller, like I said, four-wheel drive was on the floor versus on the panel there. You can see it looks like, for some reason, I don't know if they just put the key in, but tachometer is reading 3,000 RPM, and it looks like a check engine light's on. Maybe they just started and that's just the dial resetting. Sometimes they'll go all the way up and then back. They say 158,000 miles for 30,000 for a beat up truck with an ugly tailgate. I don't think I would touch this one. That value is probably, well, 30,000. It's a diesel, 159,000 miles. Guess with the way diesels are running right now, that's probably not an awful price, but something else to keep in mind is it's a 2018, so you're going to have to deal with diesel exhaust fluid. I believe that stuff came out in 2008. That's basically all that extra pollutant stuff they have in the exhaust that helps clean it, keeps it clean, but they're notorious for getting clogged and for just needing to be serviced. So it's making these current diesels a lot less reliable and a lot more costly to fix. Yeah, I'd stay away from this one unless you're just looking for a work truck, but even at that price, the price seems just a little bit too high for me. It is a diesel with 159,000. That's not a ton of miles for a diesel, but I guarantee it's reaching the miles where you're probably going to have to start messing with that exhaust system, and it's very expensive. Let's take a look at this Charger. 2018 Charger GT, so it means it's got the V6 four-wheel drive. Silver in color. I've never minded the Chargers. I typically stick clear of Chrysler products, but if I were to purchase any of them, I would probably consider a Charger, just based on the looks and the different engine options that they give you. Tires look a little bald in the rear, but that might just be the photo. Back seat looks pretty clean. Looks like you get a HVAC system in the rear with some charging ports. Pretty typical in most vehicles these days. Automatic transmission. I don't think they offer these in manual, but it's an automatic. Push button start. I mean, it seems in decent condition. Looks like it's got the radio controls on the rear of the steering wheel. Some Dodges have that. 12-volt charger. Automatic headlights. That's pretty typical for American-made cars these days. Let's see, just under 100,000 miles. City, 27 highway. That's probably pretty realistic. It's a V6 engine, all-wheel drive. You're gonna lose some fuel mileage with it being all-wheel drive, about probably 2 or 3, at least in the city. It's got the 3.6 liter V6, probably the Pentastar. This is a very reliable engine from Dodge. We'll give them that. It's a lot more reliable than their 5.7 Hemis when it comes to servicing and lifters and all that. Got the 8-speed. Never been impressed with that 8-speed. Company I work for had to replace one at 60,000 miles. It's a smooth shifting transmission, but they don't seem to last a super long time. They're asking 21,000. It's a 2018, so that makes it, what, 5 years old at this point? Guess that's not awful. 21,000, full size, it's all-wheel drive. Yeah, that's probably within the ballpark. Although it's got almost 100,000 miles. I'd say maybe closer to 16. But this is also, you got to keep in mind, this is also a dealership, so they gotta make money too. So maybe private party, you could pick this up for 15 or 16,000. Take a look at Nissan here. Looks like pretty basic four-door Nissan. If you're looking for something that's relatively cheap, this is probably what you want. Probably gets really good fuel economy, 4-cylinder engine. Only thing to bear in mind with these Nissans, I want to say maybe 10 years ago they switched to the CVT transmission, which uses a belt in the transmission, and I heard that those have been going out about 110, 120,000 miles. Transmission will start slipping. So it's at that point you need to pull the transmission and fix it. Well, the labor to do that is very costly, so I'd recommend either steering clear of these Nissans from 2009, 2010 to current, just because of that. I have read that people have been successful running them a little bit longer, but they've been changing their transmission fluid about every 40,000 miles or so. Typical for me, I like to change the transmission fluid after about 75,000 miles. So 75,000 miles, 150,000 miles, 225,000 miles. Let's change the transmission fluid. And it's got 35,000 miles. It's barely been used, so it's obviously in really good shape. Not a huge fan of their steering wheel controls, but push button start. Get a backup camera. I think that's pretty standard most vehicles after 2014. You do get a seat warmer. Alloy wheels. It's not a bad little car. 14,000 though, I think that's pretty steep. It does have low miles, but for what it is, I mean, it's just a super small car. It's got a 1.8 liter inline 4. The tires are probably original to the car. Yeah, there's the continuously variable transmission CVT. I almost wouldn't advertise that. It's a 2017. I mean, these things when they were new didn't really sell for that much either. Maybe just barely over 20 or maybe just under 20. I wouldn't pick this up for more than 10. Looks like it might be, yeah, it's a dealership, but it's probably a used car lot. Yeah, I'd steer clear of the Nissans, that generation. Let's check out a 95. Tailgate Motor Company, same people. So it's a 95 F250, at least according to that badging. If that's original, it's a 4-wheel drive. It says it's long bed, it's 8-foot bed. Looks like it's probably gasoline. Just got road tires. Looks like manual locking hubs in the front. Trailer hitch. Looks like doesn't have a bed liner, but it's got a mat or something down on the bottom. Almost looks like it's been repainted, but maybe it just hasn't been used. That's a manual transmission. Those are pretty rare these days. Single bench seat. Looks really good shape. And it's nothing special. You get a running step instead of a running board. At least looking at this, the frame and the underbody parts look like they've either been repainted or haven't really seen much salt. Bottoms of the doors look good. You got a dual fuel tank. Here's your fuel tank selector. Looks like a 4-speed with overdrive. Yeah, it's definitely 4-wheel drive. You can see the front differential right there. Get cruise control. The biggest buttons they could come up with. Dash looks really good shape. Must not have sat out in the sun. Typically those will crack. Let's see. About 83,000 miles. It's probably got the 760, I think, which is a 7.4 liter. I'm sorry, 7.5 liter. So that's a big block. That thing will drink fuel. I think you'd be lucky to get more than 10 miles to the gallon. But from what I've heard, they're pretty reliable. They've got plenty of power. It's one of these trucks you'll pull in a trailer, you'll get 9 or 10 miles to the gallon, and driving empty, you'll get 9, 10 miles to the gallon. But they're asking $25,000. And typically, I don't know if they label it an automatic transmission, but it's a manual transmission. I don't usually go based off of this. I like to see it in the pictures because people don't know what the hell they're talking about sometimes. It's not a mid-size, it's a full-size truck. Here's 4-wheel drive, they got that right. I didn't see an odometer, but you can assume that's probably right. It looks like it's got around 80,000 miles on it or less, considering the condition of it. And these trucks are pretty desirable right now, so they'll probably get over 20 for it, but I don't think I would pay. I mean, it's a regular cab, so that drops the value quite a bit. It's not the diesel, so that drops it even more. It does have a long bed, and it's got a manual transmission, which when brand new was made it cheaper, but the manual transmissions are even more desirable now, so I mean, realistically, I wouldn't pay more than 9, 10 grand for it, but like I said, the market determines the price, so they can probably get more than 20 for it, just not for me. Take a look at the 98 Camaro. Looks like it's an SS. It's probably got the 5.7 liter V8 or a 350 small block. It's not dual exhaust. That's weird. Got pretty fat rear tires. Yes, 5.7 liter V8, same one they had in the Corvettes around that time. Looks pretty clean. And it's an automatic transmission. If I was going to buy a sports car like this, I'd get a manual, but I guess it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. Looks like it's a shop that deals with classics, so you're probably going to pay a little bit more just because of that. Is a T-top. It's got the storage compartment for the T. Give you underbody pictures too, that's nice. Yeah, the frame looks excellent. That's the engine there. It does have There we go, that where it connects into one. Yeah, that looks really good shape. No fluids or anything in the transmission pan. Drive shaft looks good. Exhaust is a little faded in color, but that's typical. Rear diff still looks brand new. Looks a little bit red, a little bit red. A little bit of rust. Nothing but surface rust. That's not a huge deal. I'm surprised it doesn't have true dual exhaust. Fuel filter there. I'm sure shocks are original. Yeah, got it less than 40,000 miles. Not sure what this means. Fuel is other. So not gasoline. Yeah, for 20,000, I'd say that's probably pretty close. I mean, it's rare, barely used. It's got the 5.7 liter. It's a T-top. It's black. They gave you enough pictures where you can kind of see that it hasn't seen much use. I like they take pictures of the underbody. That's what you really want to look, especially in salt belt. Yeah, I'd say that's probably pretty reasonable. Sports car Camaro. Maybe offer him 15, see if you can talk him down to 17 or 18,000. That's probably pretty close. I'd consider paying that for that car, especially if they have all the history on it. Doesn't look like a bad one. 2018 Ford F-150. Just over 67,000 miles. Looks like it's four-wheel drive. Wonder which engine it has. There were 4 or 5 engine options. Looks like it doesn't have the EcoBoost emblem, so you can cross out I think it's a 2.7 twin turbo and the 3.5 liter twin turbo. Got running boards, crew cab, 5.5 foot box. Oh, there we go. Is that flex fuel? Nope, that's EcoBoost. So if it just has the badge on the tailgate, that means it's the 2.7 liter V6. Either that or the badges were taken off. Column shifter. Some of these Fords offer a shifter on the floor. Got heated seats. Trailer brake controller. Nope. Never mind, that is a 3.5 liter V6. Oh, it says it right there too. 10-speed automatic. I'd say this is a pretty reasonable price, but you go down here and you see it's a rebuilt title. That kills the value on the truck. I love how they say it's rebuilt and like new. I wouldn't put those two in the same category, but to each their own. Yeah, just the fact that it's rebuilt, I wouldn't touch this. It's a decent price for a 2018 with low miles, but rebuilt title, pass. And when I'm looking down here, I usually just look at the first picture. I mean, you can see if somebody's actually wanting to try to sell their vehicle, they'll post a decent amount of pictures. Some of these, just based on the pictures, I won't even touch them just because it's not even worth my time looking at. If they're not going to give you any pictures, they're not going to give you any information on the vehicle. Like coming soon, what the hell does that even mean? Why waste my time? And if you know what you're looking for, you can put it right into here. Take a look at this Mustang, 2016, 5-liter V8, 6-speed manual. That's what I would want. Let's take a look. Yep, 5.0 badging on the side. GT emblem was taken off for some reason. That spoiler looks pretty stupid too. I'm not sure if that's factory. I don't think it is. Maybe it is. Yeah, you can see it's manual. It's got the stick there and 3 pedals. E-brakes on, that's good. It's not going to roll away from them. Looks like it's in neutral. Same thing before. Low tire pressure. It's just the brake light, which is good to have that on. Just over 74,000 miles. Average MPG is 8.8. They must have been putting their foot down on it. I assume you could imagine you could average close to 30 in this thing if you're driving it casually. I hate these controls. Just give me a button. Backup camera, that's typical. Got weird switches, looks like heated and cooled seats, that's nice. I don't think that's factory. I don't know why people modify their cars like this to a point where it just makes them harder to sell. I wouldn't buy this car just because of this. It looks so stupid. That is factory, I apologize, but I don't think any way that Ford is going to put something that looks that stupid on their car. Another salvage title. 74,000, how much they want? 24,000. Nah, that's way too high. Not for a salvage title. If it's way too high, I don't even bother with it. Because you're not going to talk them down to what you actually are willing to pay, so just move on. Take a look at this guy. 2013 F-150. XTRs you don't see very much. I've got a 2017 XTR. It's basically the chrome package for a Canadian F-150 XLT. They call it the XTR package, so this truck was originally in Canada. 125,000 miles. Looks like it's probably got, it's got the EcoBoost emblem, so it's probably the 3.5 twin turbo V6. I don't think they had the 2.7 out in 2013, so it's got to be the 3.5. It's going to be one of the first generation ones. One thing that's nice about the 2017s is the suicide door actually can continue pushing back and be parallel with the cab. You can open it completely. Looks like this one doesn't have that ability. It looks like it's in fair condition. It's got running boards, it's nice. Carpet, cloth seats. Got hitch, trailer connections there. I don't understand why they put the trailer connections down here. They just get full of the elements. Rain, water, salt, water. 2015, I know they put them up here, which is a lot better. A bed liner. It says excellent condition. I don't know what they determine to be excellent. 125,000 miles. 3.5, it's 2013. That's way too much. No way in hell I'm paying almost 18,000 for a 2013 with 125,000 miles. Even back in 2021, that was a high price. For this thing, I'd say maybe just over 12 or 13 be a fair price. Definitely not 17. They're out of their freaking minds. Take a look at this 2017 Honda Accord. Nice rims. Always liked the Honda rims. 2016, 2018. They've got 3 or 4 different rim options and they all look pretty good. My first car was a 97 Honda Accord. My brother's got a 2015, my stepdad's got a 2007, my brother had a 96, my sister had an 03. We love these Honda Accords, they last forever, they're very reliable. Very well built. I mean, it's nothing special. If you're looking for something special, this isn't it. But if you're just looking for a reliable car that'll last forever, this is it. Looks like 35 or 36,000 miles is pretty low. Low tire pressure again. These vehicles sit, and with the weather changing, they're all have low tire pressure. Eco mode, whatever the hell that does. I think it just changes the ship points in the transmission. So let's see. It's rebuilt though. Very low miles, but it's been in an accident. 2.4 liter inline 4, that's a very reliable engine. But it's rebuilt title, that's probably pretty close even for a rebuilt title. These Honda Accords sell for quite a bit with low miles, even with rebuilt title. I guess that's not awful. I don't know that I would spend that money though on rebuilt when you could get one that's got a clean title for a few thousand more. Let's take a look at a new one. Brand new 2023 Ford F-150. They're asking $55,000. I can tell you right now that is insane. No way in hell I'm paying 55 grand for an XLT. You're out of your mind. Maybe for a Lariat or a Platinum or a Limited. I'm not XLT. You're out of your freaking mind. It's a Sport 4x4. Looks like it's got the EcoBoost engine, so it's one of the V6s. I guess it doesn't have the badging on the side if it's brand new. 3.5s will have the badging on the side and the tailgate. If it's just on the tailgate, it's the 2.7. Assuming, of course, they haven't been removed, which this is new, so I assume it hasn't been removed. Center column shifter. Crew cab, of course. 20 mpg. Yeah, it's definitely the 2.7. 23 on the highway. Equipment group 302A. Yep, 2.7 liter V6. 355 rear end. I think you can get up to a 373. Yeah, these people are out of their minds. This is the second lowest engine option. I think the lowest is the 3.3 liter with the V6 with no turbo. And the next price option is the 2.7 V6 twin turbo, and the 5 liter, and then the 3.5 V6 twin turbo. But they're out of their minds. 55 grand. Company I work for, I just paid $43,000 for a brand new 2023 just a couple months ago, and it had the 5 liter. Everything else was the same. It had the STX package, off-road wheels. They paid $42,000 for it, and that was for the 5 liter. That's way too much. Out of their mind. See who else is out of there. Oh, same group. That's got to be at least a Platinum. Nope, that's a Lariat. So the Lariat, you can spend $70,000. Out of their frickin' mind again. Not even going to look at that one. Maybe in 2021 when chip shortage and used vehicle prices were super high. Yeah, look at this, 132,000 miles, Lariat, 26,000. Not even going to bother with them. Their prices are ridiculous. Another Honda. Tesla. Gotta say, I've got no opinion on Teslas. I have no idea what the hell they're worth. Also steer clear of Jeeps. Steer clear of these Impalas. Yeah, don't bother with these Jeeps. They want too much money for them and all you get is crap. That's nice. You can get a 2012 Chrysler that's getting towed away. Must have been a repossession. Looks like the same truck. 28,000. 31. I guess it's not, but it looks like the same truck. Huh. I guess it's got different mirrors. I'll take a look at 2022 Ram 2500. Looks like it's got the Cummins diesel. Four-wheel drive. It's got the moose antler mirrors. Trailer hitch, of course. Just what you want with a diesel. You're going to be pulling something with it, I'd hope. Looks like it's a Bighorn. So it's about a mid-grade package for Ram. It's got the 4x4 badging. I always like to see the four-wheel drive shifter in here too. And I even look under the vehicle and look for the front differential because you just never know. Bighorn. Yep, there's that selector switch for the four-wheel drive system. 9,500 miles, rebuilt title again. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to pay $52,000 for something that's been rebuilt. It's been an accident. Let's look at this old police Charger. I guess it's probably got the V8 all-wheel drive. As far as I know, the police Chargers with the V8 is the only one that you can get with all-wheel drive. If you get a Charger RT with the V8 civilian model, I don't think they offer them in all-wheel drive. So that's something unique about the police version. You can tell it's police based on that light they have there. I'm sure the interior, instead of a center column shifter, it'll have a shifter on the steering wheel. Probably none of the police items in there, of course. Yep, you can see it right there. That's one thing you're going to get, is this whole centerpiece is going to basically be removed because that's where their police equipment used to be. So you're not going to have as much as much access, as much storage, as much comfort. Yep, you can see the shifter up there. It's got some type of light on, might just be the low tire light. Ooh, it's already got some rust going. You can see it right there. That's not good. Really small camera. That is worthless. They don't even tell you if it's the, oh, there we go. All-wheel drive 5-liter V8. 125,000 miles. How much? 12,000. It is a 2017, but it's an old police car, so it's 125,000 hard miles. You gotta imagine these things idle for a long time and just beats up the engine. It is a clean title, but it's got some rust starting already. 13,000, and it's basically a company vehicle, so you know it's not going to be treated super well. I mean, that's probably a fair price for what it is, maybe closer to, just because of the year. If it was like a 2013, I'd say maybe 8,000-9,000, but maybe 10,000 for this one. But you're taking a big risk just based on the abuse that's probably seen. And the rust is already starting. That rust is going to get really bad as it continues to age. I'd give it another good 2 or 3 years if no preventative care is done to that spot of rust before it's just rotted.